day, everybody. Welcome to the News Art Journal Watch-Along video. Today I'm working with mixed media again. And this is, well, a page about a thought that I had very recently. So I'm starting off by using some pastel chalks, and I want to use them with the wet technique today. So I'm just sketching a flower pot on the left hand side to make and I'm using a pencil to have the under painting visible in the end, and then I'm going to color it with pastels and then wetting them, which makes the color flow a bit more and almost have a watercolory look, but having a bit more brilliance and vibrance from the color in just one layer, because I'm using pastel chalks here. So the thought and the theme of the page is artwork, and by that I don't mean like producing a certain painting only, but when you are a self-employed artist, you have the advantage probably of working on your own schedule and having, well, you are the person that decides when you're going to do what, and there's advantages and disadvantages to it, and I personally like it a lot. However, what last week, what somebody didn't say but kind of like meant with a comment was that being a self-employed artist is having fun only and a lot of leisure time, and there's not really any stress and whatnot, but more like really enjoying yourselves 24/7 and not having the feel that other people do have when they have a quote-unquote normal day job. So I was surprised by that because I didn't expect it, and then I thought, well, what do people think artists do? What their day looks like? What stresses them out or not? Do they just see the nice things? Don't people see or think about the business part of being a self-employed artist at home? So I was just thinking about that, and it's not that I judge people for thinking that me in that case, I do have the greatest job as ever because I'm not stressed and I can do what I want, and I can do artwork and draw and paint every day. I'm not judging that somebody would think that this is the greatest life ever and not having to worry about things, or that I would not worry about my job and all of that. But it was just surprising to me that somebody would say maybe like in that fashion, okay, we got to do food shopping, or we got to meet with somebody in the family, or this and that is, or with friends. Can you help me driving me there? Yeah, ask Sarah because she's self-employed, she can make time. And I was like, well, no, because I do have a schedule too. And I mean, it's fairly easy with me working around those things. I can pretty much make time, but I gotta know in advance as well so that I can schedule, especially commissions and videos that I have in production and whatnot. And this special section where it comes to not really painting and drawing, but to all of the other things around being self-employed, I think that is work. That is not art. That has nothing to do with art. And that is well, maybe not my favorite part of the job. So it definitely feels like work to me. Sometimes even paintings and drawings feel like work to me because I'm not always in the mood to, and I have to make sure that I do have all of my videos ready and that I deliver my commissions on time and whatnot. So it's sometimes even art has a very work feel to it, though most of the time I have to say it doesn't. It's really when I'm at my easel or at my desk and just creating something, that's pretty much like a treat for me for all the other things that do feel like work to me. So this page here is not the judging things and like, you're mean, but it's just like me thinking about the different sides of a published piece of art, all of the steps to it, and what is art and fun of that process, and what is work. So to have this very harsh difference depicted between the two, I decided to have one part that is the part that I'm drawing right now, or that I'm working on with my brush, is the art style. The things that, or the part of the work that, I should say the work, the part of the process that I always love, that is like a treat to me, that is 99% of the time lovely and just enjoying myself and getting my thoughts and creativity out there, relaxing my brain, all of that. And I wanted that part of the page to look very colorful and very vibrant and lots of energy, lots of flow to it. And in comparison, the work part of artwork is going to be very plain and very, not a lot of fuss, not a lot of layers, not a lot of color. As you saw in the photo that starts off the video, it's quite gray. It's intended to be a harsh difference to the colorful life that is art. And I was just, other way around, slowing down. The thing that surprised me was that that comment came from somebody who's very much aware of how my daily schedule is and what I like and dislike, and how I'm working my way around things, and how I treat things like a lunch break and stuff like that you would have if you'd worked in an office or something. So I think it was just not a well thought through comment in that moment, but not intended to be mean or saying that my way of work is less valuable to society or to whatever. It was definitely not that. It was just, hey, it's so much easier for you to schedule around. Well, can you not just do that thing and not have the quote-unquote traditional worker taking care of things just because they have to be in the office and whatnot. So I wonder sometimes how or what people that are not self-employed artists think what a day in the life of the artist looks like. I think they sometimes romanticize the thing or dial it down to only the fun parts, which is drawing and painting, and not all the rest around that part of the work. There's so much more things that you gotta take care of and that you gotta do every day, or at least twice or 3 times a week, to make sure that the business part of the artist's life is also up to date and everything's working and whatnot. So getting back to the artwork here, since you now know what the background of the story is, I don't have to get into that anymore during this video, unless I do have a very clever thought, then I throw that in there, of course. But I can now concentrate on telling you a bit more about the decisions that I made while I produce that page step by step, and what worked or what was not the greatest thing ever. So since I'm still at the watering pastel chalk step, I have to say that I really like that process. I like the outcome in the end. It's very loose. It's still quite chalky. It doesn't look like watercolors. And when you look at the page in like real life closely, you can see definitely, even if you're not experienced, you can see that this is not watercolor that I painted there. There's still a few spots, especially on the flower pot, on the right hand side of the flower pot, where you can see that I just watered down some pastel chalks. Also, I really like that I don't have to work in multiple layers to get a saturated look on the page. With so many pastel colors that I used here, it's still quite vibrant, and it's, as you saw, it was just one layer of color that I watered down here. With watercolors, I would have had at least 2, maybe 3 layers to achieve that kind of a color saturation. So I did let the page dry a bit and cut that out, just for keeping the video under 45 minutes this time. And I'm now working on the right hand side, the work part of the art stuff. And for that, I took some gray pattern paper and I'm just gluing it onto the page. And I ripped it so that you can see the tear that I like when there's a white quote-unquote border that separates the 2 parts of the page here. So I ripped it and tore the paper in a way so that you can see that white border on the now left-hand side. And what I just realized, looking at how many minutes of video are still to come and that I'm already done with the left-hand side, the art part, this pretty much represents the time that the work part takes away in comparison to the art part. So I do work, I should say, 65 to 70% of my day, and my week is business related and not artwork related, like painting and drawing. So it's funny that the time spent on certain parts of the page represents or shows that as well. So just wanting to mention that. And I did cut the pattern paper to the right size because I don't want any overhanging parts there in my journal. I want that book to look neat. So next step was I took one of those bills that I had from my last visit to the craft store, and I just tore that because that represents the mathematical things like writing invoices, doing tax things, and all of the really business part of the job, like pricing or how to price the paintings and figuring out certain shipment stuff, maintaining the shop and all of that. So this is represented in the bill here, and I just ripped it. And since I want to stay in that black and white gray tones on the work side, it worked nicely fitting into the color scheme. So the next thing that I want to do is representing time, which as I just said, means that it just takes so much longer to do all the business and admin stuff around the art job than the artwork itself. So I thought I'd have a clock of some kind on the right hand side of the painting as well. And I'm taking the same pattern paper here just to stay very monochrome, very flat with the colors, because it's a necessary thing that you got to do, taking care of the admin stuff and invoices and taxes and all of that crap. But it's not the fun part, at least not for me. This is really just the quote-unquote necessary evil, you know. So I wanted to look flat and plain, because for me it's just something that I gotta do. There's no depth, there's no interest for me there. I'm not really having fun with the pure business side of things. I'm a bit more having fun, or sometimes even having a lot of fun with the admin stuff, especially when it comes to editing the videos and the photos and the blog and whatnot. So I really like that part. But doing taxes and having all of the papers ready and whatnot, that's not my favorite part of being an artist on my own. So I just glued that circle down, and I don't mind having the pencil lines showing because I'm going in with Copics all around that, so the pencil marks will dissolve. And I'm just working with 3 shades of cool gray here, since the pattern paper is in a cool gray tone as well. So I'm having C1, C3, and C5. If you have Copic markers on your in your home studio stock, or you can use them somewhere, just check out the labels on the pens if you wanna use the same colors that I used here. So I'm going in with a very dark part first, which is kind of unusual to me. Usually I go with the lights, then go with the darks, and then go with a medium hue. But this time around I started with the darks, then went to medium, and then lightened everything up the further I got to the middle of the circle, which is going to be a clock. I also have a tiny shadow underneath the clock, but only very, very loose. That is the line you can see underneath the circle. I'm going to work a bit more with the medium and the light grays there, blending it to the side and just connecting everything and having it look kind of real. But I wanted to be very stylized with the right hand side of the page, since again this is just the necessary things, the admin things. It's nothing artistic there for me, nothing creative, so I wanted to have it plain, have it 2-dimensional, and not having too much detail working or too much realism working. So I'm just going all around the circle. This is the C1, by the way, the lightest gray that I do have, and I'm just blending everything to have a nice colored clock there. I really like how well the Copics blend. Like you can see the strokes of the brush at the end. I really like how the alcohol and the markers work and do their magic, even though you're not really working on the page. It just comes together while the pen dries. And as I just said, I'm doing the same with a shadow underneath the clock, just working with the medium and the light gray there to connect the background pattern paper to the grays that is the shadow of the clock. Now with C7, that's the darkest cool gray that I do have, I'm adding the details on the clock, meaning the numbers and the things that do tell the time, and I forgot what the English word is. I'm very sorry. Is it arms? Is it legs of the clock? I don't remember it, but the thing that I'm just drawing, you know. So I'm adding those, being very very stylized, very no muss no fuss about the art style that I'm using on the clock. Quite the realism, but quite modern too. So now that I do have that layer done, I'm adding a few more strips of the gray pattern paper on top of the bill, because it was just too solid in your face. And I wanted to have a few more, well, layers and kind of an interest, not really a focal point, but an interest there. Something that that lets the page look more sophisticated, if you can say that. You know what I mean, right? So I'm just cutting strips that are a centimeter wide, which is half an inch. And then I'm gluing them to the page. Just having a very simple fence-like pattern here. There will be more on top. The wording will be on top, so they will be partially covered up anyways, but I think they just add to the page. Just trying to figure out how to place them, where to place them, what the width should be between each of those strips, just to make it look nice to the eye. I'm using simple paper glue here, nothing fancy. I don't want to go with a wet glue just because I'm using adhesive for paper to paper. So I can go with the glue stick here, and it will keep the paper in place and dry quite quickly. I could have used snail or a sticky strip as well, but I was just probably too lazy to reach for the other glue in my box. And you can see it here, but on the right hand side of my screen I do have my box of all the glues and tapes and strips that I do have, and it would have been quite easy and fairly quick, but yeah, I was quite too lazy. And that's something, looking back at it now, that is pretty much my behavior when it comes to the work part of the artwork. I do what I have to, and to have it be proper, but I'm not doing any more stuff than I have to do. So my binders where I keep all the invoices that I write and all of that They don't look fancy. They're not decorated, nothing. However, the binder where I do keep my sketches for paintings, my idea folder, that's decorated. So I do make a difference between the time and effort that I wanna put into the part of the work that is the actual business part, the work part, and then the part where it comes to artwork and creating and just enjoying myself pretty much. So now that I got those strips adhered, I'm going to speed up the next part just because it is rather simple and not a lot that I do, and I just want to have a reasonable amount of time that I'm stealing away by you wanting you to watch the video to the end. So I'm just doing some lettering here, and I'm separating the part that I'm going to draw on for all the 7 letters that I need, and I'm using this stencil here to write the word artwork, and I want all of the letters to be in a separate box so that I can cut them in the end and arrange them on the page. And I will color them with Copics as well, just because I like the way that the colors blend, and yeah, you know me, I really like to work with those markers. I could have also used colored pencils or Indian ink markers or pretty much any other marker, but I like the way the Copics blend, and I'm using 3 different colors on each of those boxes here, so, or on the art boxes, not on the work boxes. So I wanted to have some nice blended background. So for the work part, as you can see, I'm staying within the monochrome gray / black white color scheme. So I'm just coloring in the letters with a black Copic, and I'm not doing anything to the background. So I want them to look flat in comparison to the art boxes that I'm going to color right now. So for 2 of the letters, I did take a rose colored and a dark red, and for the other one I did use light green teal almost with a blue color. So I'm coloring in the letter with the T and giving that one a shadow with or just some depth by using a tiny bit darker rose color or pink here. It's not a hot pink. It's a very nice, lovely rose colored pinkish color, and then I'm using the red for the background. For the A, I'm switching things up, so I'm having 2 colors in the background and 1 color for the letter. For the R, I'm going with the same style as I did with the T, so I'm using 2 colors on the R and 1 color on the background. I will add some more details to the background once I have them adhered to the page and I know where my tiny details and gimmicks are going. But for now, I'm not adding any other like patterns or shadows, anything to the background. That I want to make sure that I see the boxes on the page first, so that I can decide what kind of details or layers have to be added and when it is just enough. So now that I do have the letters ready, I'm going to adhere them to the page, and I'm just trying to figure out how to place them on the right hand side, because I want to have, I don't want to have them all in one row. I want them to be well, not straight, but have a pattern there, or having one letter bit more to the left, the other one a bit more to the right. And with the art part, I'm doing the same thing. I just don't want them, the letters to look well, not too straight, if that makes sense. Sometimes I'm really at a loss for words, and I'm just missing words sometimes to describe what I think in my weird head there. But I guess you seeing what I do there, you know what I mean when I when I struggle to describe what goes on in my head. So there's the right hand side done, and now I'm going to the funny colored art things. And I really like how the red and pink work with the surface that the flower pot is standing in, and also with the petals and the blossom parts, I should say, of the flowers. I really like it. And the blue and green of the R work nicely with the background. It's pretty much the same color. So I really like that. So now that I do have all of the things glued down, it's pretty much only time to add some details. And I always do that by using my white and black permanent marker, just outlining things here and there, having dots added or lines added. That's all. I think my pages need to come together, and just to have them look full and just having certain things that you can discover on a page, aside from the major focal points being the flower pot and the clock here. So I want to enhance the artwork drawing illustration style a bit on the right hand side, making sure that you can see that this is a work in progress. So I'm adding the black outlines, and you can see on the left hand side there's one flower where I don't have the pink middle section. That's still in the drawing state there, like work in progress, and that's done on purpose, because I want to show that this is not just some lovely background, but this is the art part of the artwork. So yeah, and then I'm adding just, again, all over the place, black lines, white lines, dots. And the last thing that I do, I'm adding the date to the page, and then I'm pretty much done. So I hope you enjoyed watching along, and I'm very curious if you feel the same when it comes to being an artist, how people see what you do, how they imagine your day to be what it's going to be like, and if they romanticize what your daily work is. So if you wouldn't mind letting me know in the comment section, I would very much appreciate just hearing what you think about that. If you experienced something like I just did last week with somebody commenting on something where you're just surprised that people see your job that way, or imagine your daily routines be in a certain way. And I very much thank you for watching all to the end. Please like and share this video if you feel somebody that you know should take a look at it. I would very much appreciate that. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I do have a lot of art videos, cooking videos, and also board game videos for you pretty much every day of the week. So have a good one. Maybe you're inspired. Go create. Enjoy your day. And I'm going to see you on the next video, which is coming out tomorrow. Take good care. Have a very good one. Goodbye.